Hey guys, so we're back again with another reading, and this one is all about what is the most attractive thing about you right now. So what feature, characteristic, vibe, energy, anything of yours that really just makes people think you're attractive, that they can't get out of their mind, that maybe they're looking up your Instagram even though it's been weeks since you spoke to them, that just stays with people and makes their heads turn. The most attractive thing about you right now in your current energy, we're going to get into all of it. One of my favorite kind of readings to do, and today we have a beautiful selection of sushi for you guys to choose from. So we are being a little healthy lately. We've been doing the fruits, now we're onto the sushi. We're doing a little detox and being good away from our usual cookies and desserts. So if one is already sticking out to you, you can totally feel free to scroll down to the comments or the description where I'm going to post the timestamps for each of the different piles. I'm also going to throw the numbers up on the screen of each of the piles just so you can be certain about which one is which. If it's your first pick a card reading, you want to go towards the one your energy is feeling called to and drawn to. So don't overthink it too much. Don't get in your head about it. Just pay attention to where the energy seems to be calling you, where your eye seems to automatically go, or you feel a little burst of energy when you kind of glance at that pile. That will be the pile with the message for you. Don't overthink it too much. Just go with your first immediate instinct. So I also want to mention to you guys that I do have my Patreon up with a ton of additional readings. I just posted a reading all about good news happening for you in the rest of 2022 or in the future. If you're watching it in the future, you can use it as a timeless reading for good news and exciting things that are going to be happening for you within the next couple months. But it's a really positive, uplifting reading. And when you do sign up for my Patreon, you'll get access to all my readings. So over 30 additional readings about love, about career, about spirituality, relocation. I mean, there are so many different topics, over 30. So definitely go ahead and check that out if you want to join us over there. The link is going to be in my bio for that and underneath the timestamps in the comments. And we are posting new stuff all the time, and it's a little party over there. We just voted on this one, so you can suggest topics, vote on new ones, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. So come join us over on Patreon if you want to. And if you guys would like to get a private reading from me, you can also get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. If you want to get a 30-minute or hour-long session with me and get my undivided attention, specific answers, questions answered for you. And if you want me to channel, pull tarot, you get to kind of decide how the reading goes. And so if you guys want to sign up for that, head to my website, briarrosetarot.com. I think that's all I have to say, you guys. So I'm excited to get into this reading. If you need more time to decide, you can feel free to rewind, pause, and take as much time as you need. But we are going to go ahead and jump into pile one. Hey pile one, welcome to your reading. So we are going to tune into your energy and see what is making you attractive right now. The first thing that I am getting is that you guys just have an air of like dignity about you. I'm seeing kind of Kate Middleton in my mind. And I feel like some of you might have like a nose similar to hers, like kind of like upturned or something like that, or just an attractive nose, something very dignified about the way you carry yourself. Like there's a lot of grace. I feel like you guys come off as very put together, kind of polished and classic looking, to be honest. Like I feel like someone would pass you on the street and just assume that you're the kind of person who would, I don't know, be like highly educated or be very organized at home. Like they would probably assume that you, even if they can't smell you, I know it's weird to say they would assume you smell good, but I feel like they would assume you smell good, that you're the kind of person that probably wakes up every morning, has like a morning routine, takes a shower, like everything has its place, probably has like an expensive skincare routine or something like that. Your skin might actually look really good, really like plump and youthful and glowy. I just feel like you guys look kind of, like I said, put together, expensive. Like I'm seeing, I don't know who this is. It's kind of like Blair Waldorf, but I never watched that show. But also I'm seeing the girl from Cruel Intentions that Selma Blair played. So I don't know, kind of polished, like I said, and almost a little bit preppy or something like that. I just feel like you come across like someone who a lot of people would probably want you to like. You might have people where when you're walking through like a town square or like walking down the street where someone would be like, oh, come into this restaurant, or like people really want you to be at their place because I feel like you make a very positive impression, and almost almost like, you know how sometimes people might be nervous if someone shows up to their restaurant or to the hotel or whatever, because they're like, oh, I don't know if this person like is the kind of clientele I want. Like, you're the kind of clientele that I feel like everyone would want. Like, when you show up, you just look like you are going to like be very polite, have good manners, like pay well, you know, not make a big deal about the bill. You'll just be very dignified. Like, there's a lot of dignity around you. You know how to act, you know how to carry yourself. And I feel like that's very attractive. Like, I feel like people also who, like men or women, I guess, but someone who's looking for a serious relationship would be very interested in dating you, because you seem like you would be that person that would make such a good impression at like events or functions. You know what I mean? Like functions, like something a little more bougie or upscale. You would always know the right manners. You would always know which fork to use or how to carry yourself. And yeah, I feel like there's this vibe and attitude about you of just like grace and decorum. Also, I feel like you guys are perceived as very intelligent with that Ace of Swords. Let's see what else. What makes pile one attractive, Spirit? What makes pile one attractive? We got the World. Yes, I do feel like this has to do with being sophisticated, also well-traveled. What makes pile one attractive? King of Pentacles. So like I was saying, I feel like if someone's looking for a relationship, they would probably be interested in dating you. And also this might apply for, you might just seem expensive. People might just assume, like, you might actually get people who maybe don't have money who like react negatively to you because they assume you're bougie, or they assume that they kind of can't afford you, like if you're into dating men. And of course we have this expectation that you know, the man pays on dates and stuff like that. So I feel like there might be men that get intimidated by you, and like when they see you out and about, they actually have a negative reaction to you. If you're a woman dating men, obviously this might not work in the opposite direction. Although if you are a man, they could easily perceive you as this King of Pentacles for sure, and just assume you have money, that you're successful, that you're well taken care of, that you might even have like a skincare routine male version with like expensive, nice aftershave, that kind of a thing. But I do feel like for my feminines, for anyone who's dating men, you might get men who kind of like react negatively to you if they're not financially stable, because they assume that you would only date men who are well off, that you would only accept like an offer for a date that's at like the upscale, super nice restaurant. So sometimes you guys might get treated kind of strange in that sense, or you might be like, why was that guy hostile? And I feel like a lot of that is that people, you could get these reactions from women as well, who are just jealous, or who think you had everything handed to you, think that like your whole life has been super easy and you've never had to work for anything. But I do feel like you give off a very bougie, kind of polished vibe. You seem well traveled. You seem like the kind of person who might have done, I'm hearing semester abroad. So maybe some of you guys did do a semester abroad, or you just had the means for that, or you're just well traveled, period. But I feel like people would assume that you're college educated, that you probably had a lot of your bills paid, you probably didn't have to worry too much, and that, yeah, you would know kind of like, you know, what I'm hearing is some of you guys know your way around wine. Like you would know the difference between, like, if they use terms like oaky or, you know, fruity, or like cherry undertones or something, you would know all those terms. You wouldn't be out of your depths or be like, oh my gosh, what's like a Bordelais? Like you would know everything, and you would be able to keep up. So maybe some of you guys are kind of winos or something like that, or you just seem like someone who would be. Let's see what else Spirit has to say about pile one. We got the Two of Swords reversed. I feel like some of you guys look a little bit out of place, to be honest. Like if you're ever in a place where maybe, like I said, you seem like the kind of person who's very polished, and I know this may sound weird, but it's almost like if you were to be like in a not so nice part of town, I feel like sometimes people would assume you're lost, or be like, what is this person doing here? Like you would stick out like a sore thumb. You know, people just assume you should be the kind of person that's only eating at like the 5-star kind of place. So even if that's not your vibe, if you're like trying to go to like just a little unpretentious place, you know, and just like a little seafood shack by the beach, people might be like, what is this person doing here? You know what I mean? They might kind of think like, oh, they're too fancy for this place. And they might even react negatively to you because of that. Let's see what other cards we can get for pile 1. What kind of thing is making pile 1 attractive right now? We got the High Lord of Gratitude and Service. I feel like people also do perceive you. Yep. We got fruition, abundance, reaping what you sow. The High Lord of Gratitude and Service, selflessness, humility, conscious action. The Lady of Lightning, surprises, sometimes shock, and total paradigm shift. So I do feel like maybe you guys like having this kind of vibe of sometimes going to places where people don't expect you. Like maybe you love to end up at those random, like I said, a little seafood shack by the beach, you know, or like some kind of unpretentious kind of restaurant where it's like, you know, someone serving grandmother's cooking, but there's no fancy, like, there's no like white tablecloths, you know, there's no like fancy silverware. It's just very down home. But maybe you enjoy those kinds of vibes and you find yourself in those places a lot. And I feel like there's a message there with spirit of just saying that if sometimes you get a weird treatment in those places, just recognize it as what it is. Because I do feel like there's kind of a bouginess that's just like an integral part of yourself, even if you're trying to kind of dress down or fit in or just not be pretentious. Like I feel like if even there's something about just your face, there's something about your vibe that is a little bit high end, and spirit is saying not to be embarrassed or feel weird about that, to embrace that and to actually like own that and love that, because I feel like a lot of people would love to have this quality and you don't realize that it actually gives you a lot of magnetism, because I feel like there's a lot of mystery around you, and I feel like a lot of people kind of don't know your whole story, but you have the kind of face, vibe, energy that after they would pass you on the street, they would think about you after and kind of wonder like, what was this person doing here? Or why, like, what's their story? What do they have going on? Like there's something about you that's almost kind of private. I wouldn't be surprised if you guys have some Scorpio placements. I could also see some Virgo placements coming through as well. But I feel that a lot of you guys just are kind of private. You're not trying to get the spotlight. You're not trying to get attention, and you might even shy away from attention. You might be someone who is like kind of like dressing down, like trying to have people not look at you. You might cover up a lot and dress very modestly, but it's almost like despite you doing that, you're still gonna look really attractive. And again, I think that just adds to your polished thing and to this vibe of like, I'm not trying to get attention, so people are just even more fascinated than if you were trying to get that attention, trying to be the center of attention. And again, what came to my mind is Kate Middleton, and I feel like the point there is, you know, she is not someone who like wears revealing clothing at all, but she still looks stunning and she still, you know, is a very attractive woman, obviously. So it's almost like you guys, I feel like there's a message from spirit of like, you can try to dress down and dull your shine, but you're still gonna stick out. Like, who are you fooling trying to like cover yourself up or trying to not attract attention, because you're gonna get it regardless. There's something just so refined about you guys. And I got a message that even when you go out and drink, like even if you were to go out and have a bunch of cocktails, you carry yourself in a way that's more dignified, like a bon vivant, you know, whereas some people might drink a lot and become a mess. Like I feel like you would always be a witty conversationalist, have something smart and intelligent to say. I do feel like you guys are highly intelligent, probably have a really good vocabulary. And I feel like, again, maybe, you know, maybe for some of you, you were like, well, okay, I wanted to talk about how attractive I am, but I feel like you don't realize this is so attractive. Like this is so, like I feel like almost dating you or being with you is kind of a status symbol, because you just seem so polished, kind of perfect. And so I feel like a lot of people would think that you're out of their league. And if they do end up getting to date you, you just seem like that kind of perfect partner that, you know, obviously like Kate Middleton is literally a princess, I think, right? Or she's gonna be a queen. I don't know exactly what title she has, but you just seem like that kind of girl that truly would only be with like the best of the best, or the kind of guy who would only be with the best of the best, or would only date the best of the best type of women. So yeah, I feel like this is very attractive, even though it may not be like on the surface, like super sexual. I actually think that adds to it, because sexuality is hidden. That's why it's also ruled by Pluto, which which is a very secretive planet. So true sexuality is not putting it all out there, in my opinion, and in the opinion of astrology. Speaking of astrology, let's get some astro dice. My hands are kind of moisturized, so the dice are sticking around, I guess. Let's see what astrological energy is coming through for pile 1. Okay, so we got Uranus, we got Aries, and we got the 9th house. So Sagittarius, Aries, and then Aquarius. So like I was saying, with that Sagittarius energy, you do seem very well-traveled and sophisticated. I also feel like you guys give off a vibe of being kind of hard to get a hold of. Like you seem like someone who would always be going from one place to another. You might seem like someone who honestly has like a packed schedule or a packed agenda. You might literally have like an agenda, because I feel like you guys can be quite organized and be the kind of person where you wouldn't just have like some scribbled down notes of like what you have to do, but you would literally have like a leather, beautiful, like maybe like artisanal, designed in like Italy or something, like planner that is like gorgeous to look at with like everything neatly labeled. Like I feel like that's your vibe, at least even if you don't actually do that, that's the energy you give off. But yeah, you seem like you might be someone who's just busy, who has lots of things to do, kind of not super open to everyone. And also that can be this Aquarius Uranus vibe, because Aquarius is a little bit closed off. It is an air sign, and it's also just kind of a little distant. And a lot of Aquariuses that I've done like private readings for even will mention that. They're like, yeah, I feel like people think I'm standoffish. And I'm like, yeah, but it's kind of a good thing. Like it's not standoffish in a bad way, because Aquarius also rules the 11th house of other people. It's just Aquarius is not going to be the person to start crying or sobbing or be super emotional. They're a little emotionally removed, but generally very well liked. And there's kind of an innate dignity to them. Like I said, they're not going to get super emotionally involved with someone until they really know them. And even then, there's a little bit of a wall up with a lot of Aquariuses. They care more about the collective than like individual relationships. So I feel like with you guys, you're very popular, you're very well liked, but it's almost like it's hard to maybe even get you to hang out with certain people, like whereas other people might be like, well, I'll give them a chance. Sure, I don't really know them well, and I don't know if they're my type, but I'll hang out. You seem like the kind of person that would like kind of judge people fast, not in a bad way, but you make your mind up and then you're like, I don't have time for that. I don't want to go. Like if it's not your vibe, you're not going. If it's not nice, upscale, and like well organized and well done, you're not going to go. I feel like that's the vibe. Also, you guys seem very independent, and we have this Aries energy coming through as well. First house, Mars. So you come off like someone who's a little bit selfish in that way. But again, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that people respect that because they can tell that you guys are looking after yourself, that you are focused on yourself, and it kind of makes you into more of a challenge. It kind of makes people want to rise to the occasion and to actually prove themselves to you, because you don't seem like someone who's codependent or someone who's just desperate for a relationship, trying to get whoever they can. You seem like you are very serene and have this like grace to you. And again, lots of mystery. You're not letting everyone in. You're not allowing any old person into your life. You are someone who probably like takes a little bit to warm up. Even you might come off as a bit of an ice queen. But again, I think this is something that's attractive, or an ice king. I think this is something that's attractive and that people find very intriguing and invigorating, and almost like, how can I win this person over? I also feel like you come off as someone who's not going to cry when like a relationship ends, or you're not going to be that person that's going to be like, we went on one date and I think we're getting married and I'm in love, and yeah, he never called me again, but I know we're going to end up forever. Like that's just the opposite of you. I feel like you guys take a while to get kind of warmed up. You might even have like a Venus Aquarius or something like that, or a Venus Aries. It just seems like there's a level of independence here, and like you're not desperate for a relationship. You're not super sappy. I feel like you are just very self-reliant, very like comfortable in your own skin and in your own energy. So let me get some of these cards from, this is from the Bold Life deck by Vanessa Sumaina. It's such a beautiful deck. Let's see what other archetypes are going to come through for pile 1. What makes pile 1 attractive right now, Spirit? So we got the day you plant the seed. The ship has sailed. Okay. I love that. And again, with this kind of travel vibe you're giving off, I also feel like the ship has sailed. What's coming to my mind with that is someone who is very like I said, you're not going to cry over a breakup. You're not going to be like desperately texting someone a bunch of times if they don't call you back or whatever. If like someone was to not text you or ghost you, I feel like you would just completely move on. You probably wouldn't even show it on your social media. You probably wouldn't be posting a bunch of like sad memes. You know how sometimes, like, no offense if anyone does this, but like sometimes someone will post like you know, those kind of sassy Instagram quotes like, if a man leaves you, that means he can't handle you, or something like that. And even though you're like, okay, like totally respect it, you're also like, okay, girl, you must be going through something because you've been posting these all week, you know? And I feel like you guys would just never do something like that. Like, you would never let people see you sweat. You would never let people know that you're upset about a certain situation. You would process it in private, and again, with the dignity. Again, this is why I feel like you would make a great partner for someone who maybe is like a king or a prince or a CEO of a company, because you're not the type to like spread your business everywhere. You're going to keep it very close to the vest. You're going to, you know, just not let everyone know about it. You're going to keep things very private. So the day you plant the seed and sacrifices as well, I also feel like you guys just seem very independent. You might even have your own company or be working on that, or just have a vibe where maybe one day you will be an entrepreneur working for yourself. You just seem like you're super independent and hard to get a hold of. Let's see if anything else comes out. Confessions and perfect moments. So again, this kind of perfect vibe that you give off, seeming very perfect, seeming like you are very, like, I love these, all these women have amazing hair on here. So I feel like you guys might have something very beautiful about your hair, or always have your hair really well done. I could also see you guys wearing a signature perfume or something like that. And again, I just feel like the beauty routine or whatever you have going on with your skin, with your personal appearance, even with your fashion, is very on point. And you seem like someone who it's very difficult to ruffle your feathers. I can see this bird here. Like, I feel like someone could even say the craziest things to you. They might even like confess random stuff. They might come up to you and like tell you something that's way too personal. And I feel like you would just be like, okay, wow. Like, you would never show that you're shocked or that you think it's crazy what they said. You're very diplomatic. You guys could also make like good, like literal diplomats, or good in like political situations, because I feel like you're really I don't know, good at playing things close to the vest and not like showing if you're shocked, or not making anyone feel uncomfortable. I also feel like if you guys had a vibe, it would kind of be like fall, winter, autumn, you know, someone who is not like all about running around in bright sunshine, but kind of there's a level of like darkness or hiddenness to you, quietness, almost like reserved at first. Like, I feel like when you first meet someone, you wouldn't tell them everything about you. You would probably tell them a little bit and be diplomatic, but there's something very hidden that you always keep inside and don't really let anyone into. And I feel like, again, this just creates a lot of mystery. I do feel like you guys probably have a lot of people who think of you as the one that got away. With that ship has sailed. I feel like you have people who reminisce about you and kind of think like, oh, that would have made a great spouse or a great partner. That person was so amazing, but they don't have access to you anymore, and it probably does bother them. And let's see if we can get some other cards, some final cards about this topic. Spirit, can you give us guidance for pile 1 and the vibe you give off? Mindful, groupthink. So like I said, a lot of people are thinking about you guys. We got covenant, sacred contract. You might have some twin flames thinking about you, or a lot of people just meet you and think of you as a possible like serious partner, spouse. Like I said, you seem like the type of person that people wouldn't really want to date you for short-term encounters, or for just like a one-night stand type of situation, or that kind of vibe, like short-term dating. Even though that's fine, I feel like people just wouldn't be, you don't give off that vibe that you'd be interested in that, to be honest, or even that you'd be that good at it. Like, I feel like you are the kind of person that people would want. They probably would catch feelings for you even if you were trying to limit it to that. But I feel like a lot of you guys would be like, no, I wouldn't even waste my time with it. But even if you tried to, I feel like whoever your partner was with would end up catching feelings. Like they would end up wanting more just because there's something about you that, like I said, is kind of elusive, hard to get a hold of. And almost like the more you don't give someone that, you don't give someone all your attention and all your energy and all your focus, the more they're like, okay, why isn't this person opening up to me like that? Why won't they let me in? And I need to know more of them. But I feel like a lot of people do have crushes on you, pile one. Again, with this wealthy vibe that you give off, you guys just come off like someone who either has money or is going to have money. And also like you would probably date, especially if you're like a woman, that you would be dating men who would want to pay for you, you know, or that if you're dating guys, that they're going to have to come to the equation with some money and bring that to the table. I mean, that may or may not be true for everyone. Of course, everyone has different things they want or accept in relationships or whatever. But I feel like you just seem like someone who would need a table at like the nicest place in town, and you wouldn't be accepting like a date at the local McDonald's, you know? But yeah, I was going to say something else. Oh yeah, stranger. Like I feel like so many people just pass you on the street and they're like, wow, that person honestly just seems so polished, like so together. And also you seem very smart. Like even though you seem like someone who people might assume you've had things handed to you or you've been taken care of in a certain way, I also feel like you don't come off like an idiot or like you just are kind of, I don't know, dim-witted. I don't know. I feel like that's a mean word. I'm not trying to be mean, but I just feel like you come off very intelligent. You come off very sharp, very quick. And like, even though you might have had not, people are assuming you didn't have that tough of an upbringing, you're still someone who's hard to pull the wool over your eyes. Like people will just assume that they kind of need to come correct with you because I feel like there's just this intelligence behind your eyes where if someone was like, oh, this person has money, I'm just going to tell them like the entrees cost twice as much as they really do. Just the way you would look at them, if they started talking to you, they'd be like, okay, never mind. Well, I'm just going to tell them the right price, even if, like I said, you're going to like a place that you kind of stick out as like, ooh, this person seems fancy. I feel like within a few moments of actually getting to speak to you, they would start realizing like, oh no, but they're pretty street smart. They're smart. They know what's going on. Yeah, so I feel like you are very sophisticated, pile one. What a beautiful energy that you guys are giving off. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know how it resonated. I love hearing from you guys in the comments. So please let me know your thoughts on this and make sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you guys want to see more of my videos. I would love to have you here. And if you guys want to see even more of my content, then you should head over to my Patreon where you'll get access to over 30 additional readings over all kinds of topics. I just posted the good news happening for you for the rest of 2022. So things you have to look forward to, good things that are going to be happening in your life over the next couple of months. And you'll also get access to, of course, my love readings over there, career readings, relocation readings, all kinds of readings that we have. So definitely check it out. A link is in my description and underneath the timestamps in the comments for that. And if you guys want a private one-on-one session with me, I am currently doing those over at my website, briarrosetarot.com. So head there and you can sign up for a half-hour session or a full-hour session with me. And yeah, we can get you guys in. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sending you lots of love and light, and I will see you guys very soon in the future. Take care. Bye. Hey, pile two, welcome to your reading. We're going to figure out what is most attractive about you right now. What is most attractive about pile two right now? We got the Knight of Wands. First thing I'm picking up on, I don't know if it's your energy or just me, but I feel like I just want to laugh. I feel like there's this vibrant energy coming through, excitement. I feel like you guys are also very nurturing. You might be quite funny, or just you're very nurturing to others. Like I feel like you, with that 10 of Cups coming out, you might be a really good friend that like people would go to for advice, to talk to. And of course, we're talking about what makes you attractive, but I feel like this kind of spark you have, this kind of vibrant life force energy you give off is something that a lot of people find very attractive. Like I feel like you have friends who have crushes on you, and almost like the more they get to know you and your personality, the more attracted they are to you. Not that they're not attractive at first, but it's kind of like one of those things where like like, have you ever had a bit of cake and like you have one bite and you're like, I'm just gonna have one bite, but then like the more you have of it, the more you're like, oh my god, this is so good, this is the best cake ever. Like usually, you know, you bite into something, you just have one bite and you're like, yeah, it was good, and then maybe the flavor kind of drops off. But it's like you guys are just that like nurturing and nice that the more someone knows you, the more they're interested, the more they're attracted, the more they want more. Let's see what else. I also feel like there's a bit of a vulnerability to you, but in a good way. Like I feel that sometimes you can almost seem a little like, because you are very sweet, it's not that you're weak or anything, but almost like you do come off like you try to be tough, but you have this very sweet heart, you know? And there's something about you that's very like loving and nurturing, and you care about things. And so I feel like it makes people very protective of you, and that's attractive. Like they want to like defend you, or when someone does something mean to you, they get like angry on your behalf. And it does make them even more attracted to you. It's almost like you inspire someone to become like a knight in shining armor, or to like want to ride into battle for you, you know? Because there's this vulnerability that I think does make you attractive. I think vulnerability is something that makes a lot of people attractive. Like I said, I'm not going to get too into it, but having looked at people's astrology charts, I often find there's like the duality of someone being really funny, but having kind of a soft side, or someone being really tough and strong, but being a little bit vulnerable, or being gentle in a certain area. And like a chart that has a lot of that back and forth tends to produce a lot of sex symbols. And I feel like with you, there's like this happy, open, very positive quality, but then almost like there's things that you care about that would just bring you to tears, and you get very emotional. Like maybe you like really care about animals or something. Like you would go out of your way to rescue a kitten off the side of the road and like risk your life for it. Or you would care so much about a certain like needy group of people or something, some like a certain group of people that are going through something, and it would just absolutely break your heart, and you would go out of your way to raise money for them, or to like set up a GoFundMe or try to help. I just feel like you have that quality to you that maybe at first people don't even pick up on that, and then it's like the more they get to know you, the more they're like, oh, you know what, they're always posting on their Instagram about different like charitable causes. Or I can just tell when I talk to them, I can see their eyes well up with emotion when they're talking about a certain current event, about something bad happening in the world. Like people just can tell that you actually care, that you're actually compassionate. But I feel like at first they might just see the fun Knight of Wands energy, where you're fun, vibrant, you're excitable, you're happy, positive to talk to, funny. I feel like you guys are great at parties, or you would be like a lot of fun to have at someone's party, because you are someone who's just kind of like always having something funny to say. You're a good conversationalist, you know what I mean? What makes pile 1 attractive, Spirit? What makes pile 2 attractive? Sorry. It's okay. I've got a hold of your energy. So pile 2. What makes pile 2 attractive, Spirit? The Fool. And it's funny because he's played by a jester in this deck, and I feel like for you guys, you definitely are like funny and witty. Like there's something about you that I literally just want to laugh. Like I feel like you would have just the wickedest sense of humor, and like kind of like funny stuff. Now I just thought of, when I said a wicked sense of humor, I thought of that John Travolta moment when he said the wickedly talented Adele Dazeem instead of Idina Menzel. I don't know why. That just cracked me up. But maybe that, like, I feel like you guys would know references like that, or you would know cultural references or jokes and stuff like that. You'd always have like something funny to say, or a list of funny moments in your mind that just like you get a kick out of. Like I feel like, again, you're funny, you're playful, and I feel like that's very attractive too. You kind of have a youthfulness about you. You have a youthful quality that, like, I feel like it keeps you looking very young, keeps you in an energy field of being young. So maybe even if you were like 40, even if like you might have like a little bit of a wrinkle or something, you know, people might just assume you're like 27 because of your energy field, because they perceive your energy field as being so young. Some people might even call you immature, but I feel like a lot of people find this attractive. Like you're young, you're playful, you feel like you're up for anything. Like I feel like someone could invite you on a date and it wouldn't even matter where it was. It wouldn't matter if it was like to, you know, I don't know, like Joe's shack of bacon, you would be like, okay, I'll go, I'll try it, you know. Or if someone was inviting you on something crazy like scuba diving on the first date or something, you would be down. Like you just seem like you're down. You seem like you're the kind of person someone invites to go somewhere when they want to have a good time, when they want to have a party, when they want to have fun, when they want to laugh. And honestly, I feel like a lot of people would want you to be like their girlfriend or boyfriend because of that, because you seem like just someone who's a delight to spend time with. Not just about your relationship, wouldn't just be about that kind of early stage where there's like this mystery and you're getting to know someone and there's this like complexity and secrecy, but like instead it's like very positive and happy, and like, you know, the whole relationship would seem like you're friends. I'm hearing that line from Taylor Swift where she says, I used to think love was burning red, but it's golden. And I feel like your energy field is golden, or the seasons I would associate you with is like summer and spring, like late spring, summer. I could see this being Leo Cancer vibes, like a Leo Cancer cusp, like I said, with that nurturing side mixed with the fun, fiery energy. I could see that for sure. And those, of course, fall during summer. So I feel like you just give off to me a summery kind of midday noon vibe. Like I could see a field of, you know, wheat with like gold light showering down on it, white, yellow light, you know, and just very like positive and happy. Let's see. You might also be close to your family or something. And I feel like you inspire a lot of people that want to take care of you. Like people think that also physically you're very attractive, just your body I feel like is very attractive. But also you guys are, I feel like you have, like I said, a vulnerable side where people want to protect you and take care of you, and they kind of want to like step up for you. Like, even though you might think, well, isn't that unattractive that like I don't have my ish together and like I'm kind of a mess at times? But no, I actually think especially women who are this way, like I feel like a lot of men love this kind of vibe of someone who's like a little vulnerable, because it makes them feel like they can be the man, you know? And I feel like you're not closed off energetically. You're not someone who's just like not interested in real emotional intimacy. I feel like you would be very open to being very emotionally intimate with someone and going very deep, and you don't have a bunch of walls up, which I think a lot of people have walls up nowadays, and it's understandable, you know, so no judgment, but I just feel like you don't have those. You are very open and very available emotionally. Let's see what other cards we're going to get for pile 2. What is pile 2's? What is making them attractive? So you guys might be a really good dancer, literally with that spiral dancer, circuitous route, perception, queen of the light, illumination, enlightenment, celebration. The resting tree, patience, stillness. And the Arrow Master, hitting the mark, intention, detachment. I love that there's a little elf on this card. I could see you guys giving off a kind of elfin or even fairy quality. And then we got the Chess Queen, trust, strategizing. So yeah, I feel like there's something in your energy field. You're very patient. You kind of wouldn't be in a rush for things. I'm thinking of a friend I have that like she hates to walk places, and if we can like take an Uber to go to like a block, she would order it. She'd be like, sure, I'll pay for it, I don't care. And I'm like the opposite. I love to walk. Like I will walk like absolutely anywhere. I will walk like 10 miles somewhere. Like I just love to walk. So I'm always like, what the heck? But she hates to walk. And it's actually really cute and endearing. And it kind of makes you like even more like think she is very cute and gives off like a cute vibe. And she does stuff like that. She'll be like, I don't want to walk. Like, it's too far. And it's like, it's a block away. What the heck? But, you know, I feel like it makes you kind of feel protective of her, or kind of like want to take care of her. Like, you'll be like, okay, fine. Well, no, I'll get the Uber. Just because, like, usually you would never be like, sure, I'll order an Uber for a block. But with her, you're like, okay, I'll do it. Okay, whatever. Like, you're tired. You know what? Let me go get you a hot chocolate from Starbucks too. Because there's just something about that that's like kind of sweet and like almost childlike. You know what I mean? So like, just like you would take care of a little kid, you end up finding yourself kind of taking care of her, looking after her, because she's like so endearing. And I feel like there's something about that with you where maybe you're not someone who's like constantly moving around, constantly like needing to go places. I feel like there's something kind of cozy, like a little mouse or something. You know what I mean? mean? Someone who just can like hole up in their tree, hole up in their bed. And this is where, I mean, this definitely could be Cancer vibes. You could have some Cancer in your chart because Cancers are such homebodies. Taurus, also homebodies. But I really am getting that Leo Cancer cusp for some of you guys, or like some placements between those. But of course there could be other placements, but I feel like that's the vibe you give off, is like sunny, happy, but also like, just let me like rest here on my pillow and I'm just gonna chill. So I feel like this is very attractive. I feel like it just draws out this like protective instinct in people. Let me get some astro dice, speaking of all the astrology we're talking about. So we got the first house, we got Pisces, and we got Saturn. Definitely could be Pisces as well, because Pisces has that kind of gentle, sweet quality. So this could for sure be some Pisces placements. And it could be the Pisces Aries cusp, because I am seeing that, you know, your fun kind of life of the party. I could see all like, well, Scorpio is kind of a little too intense for this, but I definitely feel like you have that fire water cusp vibe, or fire water like balance vibe, where you have a fiery fun side that's like life of the party, excitable, always has a joke, always has something they're doing, but then you have the like, I just want to go sleep and chill sweetness of a watery energy. So yeah, with that first house, I do feel like with your friends and stuff, you are like the life of the party. You're so much fun to be around. You probably have such a quick wit, and just, I feel like people love to be around you. Like, I feel like if you were taken to a party and you didn't know anyone, you could probably be friends with anyone in like a short amount of time. This friend that I was mentioning is like that, and like they will literally start a conversation with anyone, and like, I mean anyone, like, you know, someone totally a different age group, someone's like that you would never really expect, and you'll like come back if you like left them at a party and find them just best friends, you know, with like whoever, literally anyone. And I feel like that's kind of you. Like you would just always be someone who is like talking, chatty, wanting to know people, very easy in that sense. But then there's that soft kind of sweet side. And I feel like with the Saturn energy, it may be that a lot of people have kind of, like I said, because there's a protectiveness around you, you might have gone through some hard times. Also with that 8 of Swords, you might have even like suffered from depression, or you might have been through some hardship. And it's almost like, if you think that makes you unattractive, it actually makes you more attractive, because I think when you really fall in love with someone, you fall in love with their vulnerabilities. I mean, I wish it wasn't true in some cases, like the downsides of someone, but I think it is true. I think it's the sad part of someone, or like the vulnerable part, that you end up just becoming like really in love with. Like, it's the perfect part that it's kind of hard to access emotionally. It's kind of that softer, like more delicate side of us that we try to, like, we're embarrassed about, that actually I think makes people fall in love. And I feel like you don't hide yours as much. Like, I feel like you're much more like, let people see my flaws. I don't really care. Let people see that I am upset. Like, you're not going to be that person that's pretending to be unbothered and like doesn't let anyone see. You would be that person that, like, you know, might let everyone know that you're going through a hard time or something, or like you just wear it on your sleeve. But I feel like that just makes you more attractive. I feel like people just feel like they really know you, even if they don't know you. You might have that happen where like someone's like, oh my gosh, like this person's my best friend, and you're like, I don't even know this person that well, or like, yeah, you follow me on social media, but I don't really know you. But I feel like it's a good thing, because again, I feel like you kind of inspire other people to be more vulnerable as well. Let's get some of these cards from the Bow Life deck by Vanessa Sumayina. Okay, that one flew out, so we'll use that. Perfect moments. Love is in the air. 0 F's given. I'm gonna take that card away because we're trying to keep we're trying to abide by the YouTube rules. So I'm just gonna, yeah, leap of faith, but I will include it in the reading. Goal setting and disconnect. Okay. So with Love is in the air, again, I feel like you guys just come across as someone who is very lovey-dovey, kind of sweet, probably the kind of person that would want to celebrate like all the holidays, like go over the top for Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, like any holiday you could possibly celebrate. You might be that person that like does up but like a wreath, you know, for every season, or goes over the top with Halloween and Christmas and Easter and 4th of July or whatever, you know, country you're in, whatever their national day of celebration is. Like, I just feel like you're someone who really takes pleasure in like all the tiny small things, you know, like you make a special moment of everything. Like everything you do, you're going to make it fun. You're gonna, like, if someone invites you to a party, you're gonna show up with like that big thing of guacamole and some chips and, you know, maybe like some alcohol or something, but you're gonna make it fun, and you're gonna have it be over the top. Like, you're not just gonna show up and be like, I brought some crackers. You're going to be like, okay, so I made up this drink. I mixed it all up. It's a watermelon spritzer. And okay, so when you're taking a drink, you have to put on this scuba mask. I don't know. I just made that up. That might be a little over the top, but you know what I mean? Something that like just makes it extra fun. And I feel like a lot of the people that find you so attractive, it's almost like contrasting, because maybe sometimes when they meet people, they seem like, we got that card, no F's given. They seem like that way, and that's almost a contrast to you. Like, they seem like, so many people nowadays, I feel like, you know, want to go out of their way to prove like, I don't care, I'm not bothered. And in a way that can be good in certain contexts, but I feel like a lot of times, you know, it's made a lot of people afraid of getting hurt, or a lot of people feel like, okay, no one's invested, so what am I even doing? And you're the opposite. Instead of you kind of numbing yourself to like, I don't care, I'm not, it doesn't bother me. You're like, no, I wear my heart on my sleeve. My feelings were hurt. I'm upset. And again, I feel like the more you open yourself up, the more people see this beautiful quality and maybe think of how they can emulate it, or the more they're attracted to you, the more they realize what a beautiful gift that is to have someone be so emotionally open, and you're very present in life. Like, I feel like you live in the moment, you know, you're the kind of person that would get excited about like taking a trip to, I don't know, Sonic and getting a slushie, or 7-Eleven and getting a slushie, or, you know, going to see a movie in the movie theater. Like, you'd be like probably packing a bunch of snacks and smuggling them in, or getting just super jazzed about the popcorn. Like, I feel like you just make the small things into a big, beautiful moment. And I feel like that just adds so much beauty to people's lives. Like, when they're with you, there's this enthusiasm and this zeal you give off. Definition of zeal that I memorized when I was younger is zeal and enthusiasm, which brings the extraordinary from the ordinary. Memorize that because it was on a poster at my school. And anyway, I feel like that's what you guys do. You have that zeal, you have that quality that brings the extraordinary from the ordinary, or takes a just everyday occurrence and makes it into something really special. Let's get some of these cards to finish off the reading for pile 2. The wall, obstacles. Okay. What makes pile 2 attractive, Spirit? What makes pile 2 attractive right now? Maybe this is just, I don't know, something you're going through right now, but I feel like, to me, it seems like something about your personality that no matter what you're going through, even if you are facing a lot of obstacles, you'll always find these treasures hidden in the shadows. You will always find some positivity about it, and you'll always find something good that's happening, something to focus on that's a positivity. Like, if someone invited you to go to like, you know, a picnic, you wouldn't just show up with like, okay, I brought a bag of chips. You would show up with like probably a patterned special picnic basket and a matching blanket, and, you know, maybe be like, okay, and I brought wine with some wine glasses and I packed them in a special box, and like, you would just make it special. I feel like that's something about you, and a lot of people think you would make a great parent because of that. Some of you guys really, I keep getting things that have to do with trauma, or maybe you didn't have parents that were super involved, and that's why you're the kind of person who takes care of others, like because you had to fill that role or something. Like, I feel like in a way, maybe you had to do a lot of stuff for yourself growing up, so you always like, you kind of are always doing that for everyone else in a way, because you kind of never got that or something. I don't know, that won't apply to everyone, but that's just a message coming through. But I feel like everyone feels so taken care of and loved in your presence, and that's why they think you would make a great parent, spouse. Like, you're so good, you're so sweet, so nurturing. I love this energy, and I feel like it truly is attractive. I know you guys might have thought I was gonna talk about something really like sexual or something, but I feel like this is actually, you know, kind of foundational for love, especially for that deep commitment love, like a marriage, or like I said, being a parent. Although obviously those are different types of love, but it at the end of the day, both kind of involve this element of caretaking, of looking after, of being emotionally very loving towards someone, and you guys do that so beautifully. So I feel like you guys have a lot of people who are interested in you, a lot of people who would want to date you. And you also have this big team on the other side. But anyway, well, that's not really the point of the reading, so we're not going to get into it. But yeah, I feel like a lot of people, you just kind of remind me of like a teddy bear or something like that. Like I feel like people just want to give you a hug and, you know, I don't know, like feed you popcorn and put on the put on a movie and let you like lay in your bed, because that's what seems to be your vibe. Like people just want to take care of you and look after you because yeah, you're just kind of sweet and cute, and a lot of people, you bring that out in people. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know how it resonated in the comments. I love hearing from you guys, so let me know your thoughts about this reading and how it resonated, and make sure to like this video, hit the thumbs up button if it resonated, and make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications if you want to join our little tribe over here and find out as soon as I post. I would love to have you here. And if you guys want to see more of my contents, you can head on over to my Patreon and join it over there. We have a lot of extra readings. I just posted about good news coming to you for the rest of 2022. So all the good news for you to look forward to. It's a really great, fun, in-depth reading. So check that one out. And if you guys join, you'll also get access to over 30 additional readings that are about love, career, relocation, spirituality, all kinds of different subjects, like 30 subjects. So I mean, there's a lot to choose from. Go head over there and look at all the topics we have and join our little party if you want to. The link is in my description and underneath the timestamps in the comments, I think. Although I don't know if it will be there, but I'll try to remember. And then also, if you guys want to get a private one-on-one reading with me, I'm currently doing those over at my website, briarrosetarot.com. So you can go there and sign up to get a half-hour or 1 hour session with me. And yeah, we will find a time for you to get in there and get a session. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sending you guys lots of love, pile 2. What a beautiful energy. And I will see you guys very soon in another reading. Take care, guys. Bye. Hey, pile 3, let's get into your energy and see what people are finding attractive about you right now. Okay, so this one says Temperance. I think I'm going to read that upright. What do people find attractive about pile 3? The first thing I heard in my mind is gravitas as I was shuffling. And with the King of Swords, that makes a ton of sense. And the Temperance card and the Hermit, by the way, 2 of the 3 are major arcana. So you guys, I feel, have a very powerful, like penetrating aura. Something about you, I feel like it's almost like you're a little judgmental, I want to say, but not in a bad way. I feel like it kind of makes people want to step up to like be getting your approval, that kind of a thing. Like I feel like there's something very intelligent about you, discerning about you, very smart about you. I feel like you guys might be the kind of person who would make a snarky comment about something that just sets everyone laughing, like almost like something kind of ridiculous happens and you just have the perfect joke for it, you know. And there's something kind of almost like it could be kind of mocking about you, like you're really witty and you're good at comebacks and that kind of a thing. And I also feel like you're not necessarily desperate for other people's approval. You kind of, I feel like, stay in your own lane, do your own thing. You're not trying to hang out with everyone. You're not desperate for friends or for other people's approval. So again, I feel like there's kind of a challenge about you. There's something that is a little bit challenging about your energy, almost like dating you. It's kind of like I dare you is what I'm hearing in my mind. And I feel like that's kind of coming from you. Like, you know how like sometimes in like old movies or like old romance novels or whatever, there will be the lady that like is really hard to win over. Like she's not like nervous and shy. She's like the girl that will be like, what the heck is wrong with you, to like the male protagonist, you know? And I feel like that's kind of you. Like you would be that like quick-witted, like always have a funny response. And actually I feel like a lot of men write the female protagonist as being that way. So I feel like a lot of men are very drawn to this archetype of the woman that kind of passes judgment on them, but they enjoy that for whatever reason. And of course, if you're the guy, you could be the guy version of this, like the really funny guy who always has a quick one-liner, and girls maybe are a little not afraid but kind of like, okay, he's kind of cool and I need to like live up to this or something like that. Because or you could be like the loner, you know what I mean? Like I'm literally seeing Justin Bobby from the hills, like someone who just kind of does his own thing, sticks out, doesn't care about fitting in with others, and is kind of like too cool for school. I could see that for pile 3 in general. Like I feel like there is something very cool about you guys, or people perceive you as being very cool and kind of elusive, hard to get to know. 3 of Wands, yeah, it might be a situation where you're kind of always like almost seem too cool for where you grew up, or too cool for the people you're around or the crowd you're around. It might be a situation where you grew up in a small town, or just wherever you're from, you just seem like someone who should be living only in like a big city, or who is very sophisticated, or who just would be fitting in way cooler at like a party at like Andy Warhol's The Factory, you know, that kind of a thing. Like you just seem a little bit artistic, a little bit almost like, I'm thinking of this random movie. I don't even know why I watched it, because I never watch movies like ever, but I watched Peggy Sue Got Married, and there was this, it's like about time travel, and there's this character. So she goes back in time to like her high school, and there's a character there who's like who becomes a famous writer later on. And when he was in high school, everyone thought he was cool, but like no one was friends with him. Like he didn't have any friends, but he was really popular, I guess, according to this movie. And he was always kind of like in the corner, like reading poetry, writing things in his journal. And everyone was very intrigued by him, but kind of intimidated, but like he didn't have any friends. And so I feel like that's kind of the vibe. They just showed me that in my mind. Like there's something about you that's kind of almost judgmental of others, but again, not in a bad way. I feel like people respect it. They understand why you would be judgmental. They understand that it's because you're really smart. And I feel like it just makes them more attracted to you. Like all the girls in that movie were always talking about how cute that guy was, how they wanted to get to know him. Like he starts something with the lady who's the protagonist, the Peggy Sue, and all her friends are kind of like, oh my gosh, he's so cute and blah, blah, blah. So I feel like even though what I'm describing, you might be like, is this an attractive vibe? But like a lot of people are attracted to this. Let me see what else we're going to get for pile 3. What do people find attractive about pile 3? Yep, that 9 of Swords. I feel like a lot of people, it's almost like they would want to have a serious relationship with you. Like you're kind of like a bad boy or a bad girl. You know what I mean? Like you would be that person in, like, you know, Heathcliff from Wuthering Heights. You wouldn't be like Sunshine and Rainbows. You would be that kind of like brooding in this corner, kind of, people are almost afraid of you, you know? But again, I don't want that to sound bad. I think it's just, I think you are very smart, and I think you guys like kind of pass judgment on people, not in a bad way. Everyone does it, but it's just your judgment might be a little more penetrating and intense. There is a kind of Scorpio vibe coming through. I could definitely see Scorpio. I could also see Aries, just strong Mars energy in general. But I feel like there's something that's a little bit like you would praise someone. You would look at them, you would give them the once over and be able to kind of see into their soul in like this Scorpio way. And so I feel like a lot of people kind of fantasize about, and it's so funny that this is coming up again because I know I mentioned Twilight in like the second to last reading I did about what men versus women think of you, but now I saw Bella in my mind, but now I'm seeing Edward. You know how like he's in the corner and everyone's like, oh my God, who's that guy? Or like, they're so intimidating. I feel like that's kind of you guys, but again, everyone has a crush on him, right? So it's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that people are like, this person's strange. Maybe they do think that, but they're attracted to it or drawn to it. I could also see Aquarius because of that. And then we got the High Priestess reverse. So yeah, there's something about your psychic abilities. Like I feel like when you look at someone, you kind of appraise them. You get a glimpse of them. Okay, we're going to do this a little bit early for you guys. What vibe, what are people attracted to with pile 3? Okay, so we got Virgo, the first house, and Venus. Okay, so I almost mentioned Virgo actually, because I think with that kind of judgmentalness about you, like it's almost like if you choose to date someone, it's like a flex for them. I feel like, yeah, a lot of people are intimidated by you. A lot of people see you as a little bit judgmental. So if you choose to like be interested in someone or go on dates with them, I feel like everyone would be like, oh my gosh, wait, he picked her or she picked him? Like, dang, okay, he must bring something to the table, or she must bring something to the table. Yeah, and with that Aries, like it's like you guys also, I feel like you're not afraid of conflict. So if someone is going to say something crazy to you or rude to you, I feel like you would absolutely have the perfect comeback, the perfect line to kind of put them in their place. You're just definitely not someone who is like unafraid or who is afraid of clapping back or saying something to someone, or just who's like a wilting violet, wilting flower in the corner, like kind of shy and scared. You might even come off as shy at first because you're like not trying to hang out, and maybe you like, you know, you're at work and you like leave right after and everyone else is like hanging around chatting and you're like, bye, I'm gonna go, and you don't want to like make small talk with people. So maybe someone might be like, oh, they're shy at first, at like in very first, but then they quickly realize like you're not shy, you're not scared, you're just like, I don't care about you guys, I'm doing my own thing, and honestly I'm too cool for this, so I'm gonna bounce. Yeah, and then we have Venus. So I actually feel like a lot of people, because I feel like you're very loyal deep down, like you are that kind of person who, when you really are committed to someone, you're very loyal. You are ride or die for the people you are close to, and so because of that, I feel like you make a great spouse, partner, long-term girlfriend or boyfriend. You're very loyal. You kind of see only that person when you're actually committed, and I feel like you're very choosy. Most people don't live up to this, but when they do, you are like all in and you're completely devoted. And because of that, I feel like a lot of people fantasize about being with you, because it's like, wow, to take that role in their life, it's like a testament to me. It's like I won a medal or a trophy or something. It's like, wow, proof of how amazing I am, that this person who could have anyone probably wants to be with me. Because I do feel like you guys kind of give off a little bit of a smoldering sexuality. Like, now that sounds over the top, but there's something kind of smoldering and intense. Strong Mars. We do have Aries, which is ruled by Mars, and I am picking up on Scorpio vibes as well, which has the ancient ruler being Mars. So you might have Mars strongly aspected in your chart, because again, I feel like you're not afraid of conflict, and you're also very like sexual. Like there's something about you, and I'm thinking of a lot of sex symbols I notice have the sun aspecting Mars or the ascendant aspecting Mars, because it gives off, and sometimes Venus aspecting Mars, because it gives off a vibe of intensity. Mars is intensity, it's passion, it is sexuality, it's raw sexuality, but it's also like just that kind of go-getting, intense, I want what I want kind of vibe, you know? And I feel like with you guys, you give off that strongly. And so if like someone's not your taste or you don't really like them, you're not even going to pretend. You're like, I don't like this person, and I don't care if they get mad, and I don't care if they start a fight, because like, I don't care. I'm Mars. Sure, I'll fight. I love to fight. So yeah, I think like a lot of people are very intrigued. They want to know more about you. You kind of have their attention, you know, but I feel like there's a lot of things you kind of block off. You're not letting everyone in. You're not just open for business to anyone. Like it's like very discerning, you know? So let's get some of these cards and figure out more of the vibe of what makes pile 3 attractive. What makes pile 3 attractive? So we got the Spirit Whisperer, Divine Guidance, Higher Knowing, the Camel Boy, Small Steps, Asking for Help, the Lady of the Lake, Reflection, Non-Judgment. I do feel like you guys are judgmental, so maybe that's just calling out that you are judgmental by saying non-judgment. The Rainbow Prince, Compensation, Perseverance, and final E, if we're going to get one final card, the Cosmos, Creativity, Vastness. I do feel like there's something creative about you guys. I wouldn't be surprised also if you dressed really in a cool way. And I'm feeling called to use that as well, because that kind of popped out, so I'm using it. So we got the Well Watcher, Wisdom, Power of the Divine, and the Desert Prince, Survival, False Promises. So I feel like there's something very creative about you guys, and kind of unusual or unique in the way you dress. And I feel like you do it in a way though that's fashion forward, that's avant-garde. It's not like you look bad. It's not like, oh my God, what did that person do with that outfit? And like, ooh, that's really unusual in a bad way. It's like, oh my God, like I would never think that would work together, but dang, it looks good. Kind of giving me like Rihanna vibes, you know, in the way she dresses. And she is very Aries in her chart. She's like a Pisces Aries cusp, typical vibe of that. And I feel like, well, I mean, and by cusp, I mean, it's just like her chart is very like both, you know? So I feel like for you guys, you have a vibe though of like, this kind of like, I'll wear what I want and I don't care what you think. Because to me, that's like this Aries Rihanna vibe combined with the creativity, where she has Like, she just is very bold in what she dresses in. She doesn't care, and honestly, a lot of her outfits would probably look horrible on anyone else, or if you just took them apart and like wore one part of it and tried to wear it with jeans, it would probably look horrible. But because she leans all the way in, she doesn't care, and she's like, I'm Rihanna and I'm wearing this, it looks amazing. And I feel like with you guys, it's the same, where like you carry off things, or you wear things, you're bold, you don't get in your feelings about it, you don't get upset, you don't get nervous, you're just like, I'm doing this and this is what I feel like. And because of that, I feel like a lot of people are kind of in awe of how you dress, and they find it very attractive. Like, I actually feel like people are attracted to the way you dress. I know, like, for a lot of straight women, you know, who are the majority of my viewership, we kind of assume that like dudes aren't into clothing and that they wouldn't even notice. They don't care about those things. But I actually think a lot of men do notice and care about, like, straight men care about how their girlfriend is dressed and like that she looks cool. Like, they can say they don't, but you know they're not fully honest about what they're into. And I do feel like they care about like when their girlfriend is well put together. They might not know like labels and stuff, but they want to, you know, be out with like a girl that like looks somewhat good, you know, and like clothing wise and everything. And I feel like the fact that you guys have this cool sense of style, it's like a flex. Like, again, people are just like, wow, how did they put that outfit together? They have this unique sense of style, and it kind of advertises your creativity. It's not even just about the clothing, it's also about the vibe you give off of someone who is creative, who does, like, you also, I feel like, give off a vibe of someone who like reads poetry, or would like read old like English, I don't know, books about, or like medieval literature, or like Russian novels from the 1800s, like maybe like I am getting like Heathcliff vibes, you know, or like forbidden love kind of vibes, like Anna Karenina or something. I don't know. I just feel like there's something kind of almost out of time. Like, you seem like you come from a different era or something. Like, you just seem like you would be at home, like in the moors with like the wind blowing on your face, being depressed on like an autumn day. I know that might not sound attractive, but I feel like the vibe is very attractive, or in the middle of winter, you know. I'm thinking of this one specific painting I can see in my mind, and I feel like there's something about you that just doesn't fit in, but not in a bad way, in a very good way, in a way that people are intrigued by, and they just can't figure you out. Whereas like a lot of people are, you know, not that hard to figure out. You can get a hold of their energy and be like, okay, I know what to expect from this person. Like, their house looks like everyone else's house, and they're kind of dressing the same, and like, I know their vibe. I've met a bunch of people like them. Okay, cool. Whereas I feel like with you, there's something very unusual, and there's almost contradictory, and very like playing things close to the vest. Like, I feel like if someone was to ask you about like your life or whatever you have going on, you might even like lie or say something that is not true, or just not tell them anything. Like, give an answer that's very vague, very like, what does that mean? Like, what do you do for work? Oh, I just, you know, I deal with money. And it's like, okay, so does everyone, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like you would do something, you would say something like that, that's just intriguing, and people like just, yeah, it actually ramps up their interest. So yeah, I feel like you guys are kind of, I'm also seeing, this is so funny, all these references, but I'm seeing Jess from Gilmore Girls. So I don't know, I feel like you have like this kind of hard to get to know, like standoffish, but not in a bad way. Not in a bad way. Okay, so let's get some cards from this beautiful Bow Life deck by Vanessa Sumaina. I love this deck. Okay, so let's see. This one flew out. It says claim your energy. And then what else are we going to get? For pile 3, Spirit, what is attractive about pile 3? Every step counts. Okay. So again, with that kind of fiery toughness, I feel like you give off. Updates to your system. Jar of Dreams. The day you plant the seeds. So I do feel like also people assume kind of that you're going places. And we got on fire. So like I said, I feel like there's a fiery energy to you, but also, like I said, people kind of, with that Peggy Sue example, because that guy I was picking up on, or the guy that came to my mind, like the whole movie is set up as like she travels back in time from their high school reunion. So like they know how everything's going to turn out. And then she goes back to high school and sees them at like 17. So anyway, the guy goes on to be like this huge best-selling, like famous poet, famous novelist. And then she goes back to high school and sees how everyone perceives him. And everyone thought he was kind of weird, but they were also like intrigued by him. And again, all the girls had crushes on him, but he was kind of like kept to himself and whatnot. And I feel like with you guys, it's just like people can see this potential. Because again, that guy went on to be a best-selling famous novelist. And I feel like with you, they can see that maybe you're going places. You just seem like someone who has kind of a vision, and maybe that's why you're not trying to talk to everyone. Maybe you're just keeping to yourself because you're like, I'm doing my own thing, and yeah, I don't need your approval. But again, I think a lot of people are just very like curious, want to know more. I feel like you guys come off as like, maybe you're a hard worker about something with this 10-90 ratio, the day you plant the seed, jar of dreams, like where you're present in the moment. Maybe you're talking to like your coworkers or your friends, but also there's a part of you that has like secret dreams or keeps things secret, that you're working on, like another project, and you're not going to tell everyone your business. I feel like people would almost be surprised. Like they'd be like, wait, you have this source of revenue or this stream of income or this, wait, what? Wait, how long have you been working on this? You're publishing a book? Wait, when did this happen? Like, I feel like you are that person that you would just play things close to the vest, never let anyone see. And again, people are very attracted to this. It just creates more and more mystery about you, about what you have going on. And again, I feel like you might be very physically attractive, might have a beautiful form to your body and to the way you move. So yeah, I feel like some of you guys could be physically active or something like that, but there's this like toughness about you that I'm getting. Okay, let me get some cards from this deck as well. Spirit, can you give us guidance for what people find attractive about pile 3? Lost in space. You might be kind of spacey. I could definitely see that, because again, I feel like there's this artistic side. I could see some of you guys being authors, being artists. Like, wasn't Justin Bobby an artist back in the day? I don't remember. I don't even know what he did for his job. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Is like, I feel like there's something about you that people might not know, like what you do for your job, or what, like, where you're from, or like, you know, where you grew up. Like there might be people who are just like, wait, what? I, you know, now that I think about it, I don't know anything about you. Yeah. And I feel like you, oh wow, as I was saying this, we got first breath, beginner's mind, and I was going to say, I feel like you're someone who is very questioning of everything. Like you don't just believe what everyone tells you. You don't believe necessarily maybe the news, or if like you were born into a certain religion, you might be the one in your family who really questions that, who really asks questions and doesn't just believe whatever you're told. I just feel like there's something about you that's very questioning and skeptical, and like I said, a little bit difficult at times. But I think this is what actually people are very drawn to about you, is like, you're not kind of like a sheep, I guess. I don't know if that is kind of cringe to say, but I feel like you're not someone who just goes along with the crowd and follows what everyone else is thinking. I feel like you genuinely make your mind up for yourself. And so because of that, a lot of people are intrigued about you, and almost like the more prickly you can be at times, I feel like the more people are just wanting to know, wanting to break through, wanting to be that special person with the privilege who gets to know you completely, because not everyone gets access to that. So yeah, I think that is what I have for you, pile 3. What a very intriguing energy. Please, I know you guys are secretive, but please let me know how it resonated, because I need at least that confirmation. I know you guys aren't going to tell me your life story, but I'm very curious about you, pile 3. So let me know as much as you feel comfortable with in the comments, and make sure to hit the like button, hit the thumbs up, and make sure to subscribe and turn notifications on so you can find out as soon as I post. I would love to have you here joining our little tribe. So get ready for the next reading by making sure you have notifications on and everything. And then if you guys want to join my Patreon, you'll find a ton of additional readings over there, over 30 additional readings. I just posted one all about the good things happening for you for the rest of 2022. So it's a really uplifting, happy, positive one with a lot of good news only and good vibes only. And then you'll also get access to all my readings having to do with love, work, spirituality, relocation, a lot of deep topics, about 30, over 30. So definitely check that out if you want to join. It's at the link in my description and in the comments as well for my Patreon. So yeah, I think that's about all I have to say. Oh, and if you guys want to get a private reading with me, you can also get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com, and get a one-on-one session with me where we pull cards specifically for your situation if you have a specific question or if you just want me to channel openly. So whichever you want the reading to go, we can do it that way, and I'm doing them right now at my website, briarrosetarot.com. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sending you lots of love and light, and I will see you guys in the next reading. Take care of yourselves, guys. Bye. Hey Pile 4, welcome to your reading. Today's reading is all about what is the most attractive thing about you right now. So what is the most attractive thing about Pile 4 right now, Spirit? The first thing I'm picking up on is kind of like loyal, patience. I'm hearing that Bible verse that a lot of people say at their wedding where they say love is patient, love is kind. And I don't know the rest, but I feel like you guys generally seem like you are very loyal and like loving and nice to be around when you have a partner. Like I feel like you would take care of the person you're with, kind of look after them, be very sweet and understanding of them is what I'm getting. We just got the Sun, the Nine of Cups, Nine of Wands reversed, and the Emperor reversed. Let's see what else we're gonna get. So yeah, that Nine of Cups is definitely the energy I'm picking up on so far of someone who is, I feel like, quite like supportive, and I feel like you would be the kind of person who would be great to go out to like walk your dog with. I know that sounds so weird, but I'm almost seeing like the suburbs on a Saturday. You know how like there'll be dads out mowing the lawns and maybe like some moms gardening and like kids playing in the streets and like, you know, parents walking their dogs and talking together. I feel like that's a vibe you give off. Like you just seem like a dad or a mom, you know. I know that might sound weird nowadays, but you know what I mean. I feel like you do give off that vibe of like someone who is smart, someone who has their wits about them. Like I feel like there's a responsibility around you. You know, you don't seem like someone who's just like willy-nilly super wild and crazy. I feel like you seem like someone who's kind of grounded and down to earth. Although we are getting the Sun and the King of Wands, so we'll talk about that as well. But honestly, the vibe I'm getting is more along the lines of someone who will like look after the people in their life, take care of them, be very kind of responsible for those around them. And I feel like a lot of people just feel like you are someone to kind of look up to in that sense, someone that they really admire in how you carry yourself and how you like deal with your friends. Like you're someone who I feel like is so loyal. You would go to the bat for anyone. You would take care of people. I also feel like you're fun to be around. Like I feel like when you go out, you are a lot of fun. You're very welcoming. You're very warm. There's a warmth to you. We are getting a lot of fire energy. So I feel like it's not that you're like a boring, grounded person, but you know how sometimes when you're going out to a restaurant, Spirit is showing me this group of people that were out at a restaurant I was at yesterday, and it was like this older group, but they were like having so much fun and they were all like drinking wine, and they started talking to me and the person I was with, and like even though they were like in their, you know, I don't know, 60s or something, they were super fun and they seemed like they were just having a blast. And you know how sometimes with older people, like even though they're a mom or a dad, like they just will be like drinking margaritas, you know, at the bar, and like they'll be really funny and really talkative, and like they're great in conversation, almost like they're better at that because they have that responsible like parent energy a little bit, so they're good at like watching the emotional regulation of someone else in a conversation and noticing when you get bored. And you know, I don't know, like I feel like all those things are probably like micro thoughts that we have, like micro interactions that our brain is going like, oh, this person's getting a little bored, let me change the subject. But I just feel like there's something about you that seems very responsible and balanced, and kind of like you would make a great parent, you would make a great dad or mom, but you also could let loose and just really have fun and just really enjoy. I feel like you are a bit of a bon vivant. Like we do have all these cards that can talk about someone just really enjoying their life. We got the Nine of Cups, we got the King of Wands, we got the Sun. So I feel like there's an energy around you where maybe you like good food, maybe you like good wine. Like I was saying, that couple, you know, I was like I was like checking out what they were eating and what they were drinking. You know, I love like food and everything. So I was like, so I always notice like what everyone else is eating. And you know, sometimes there's like a table and everyone's got salads and they look kind of miserable, you know? And nothing wrong with it. Of course, we all, you know, got to eat healthy sometimes or whatever, but they were all having like some pasta and some wine and they were laughing like the whole time. They just looked like they were having a great time. And I did talk to them and they were fun to talk to. They were super nice and like started conversation. And so I feel like that's kind of you guys. Maybe you guys are that person that can go out and be the life of the party, but then you're very responsible and like you make sure you're showing up to work on time. You make sure that like everything is covered. I feel like you guys kind of like the finer things in life is what I'm getting. Maybe you are someone who does care about like the kind of restaurant you're going out to and you don't want to go if it's going to be like kind of a janky situation, or maybe you're the kind of person who would make sure that like if you're going to show up to a party, like you'd be like, okay, what do you have food wise? And if you like, it's okay if you don't have anything good, but like then let me make sure I'm bringing over some stuff and bring over like a big spread, like a big charcuterie spread or something. I don't know. I just feel like you guys have good taste in things. And I feel like people really admire that about you. Like you might be always on to like the newest cool restaurant or the newest cool place to go, or like the cool scene. Like I feel like you guys are very on top of whatever's going on in the world. You might be very up on current events and I feel like you're very good and lively in those discussions. You know, like you would be great if someone wants to talk about politics and a lot of people might be uncomfortable or be like, ooh, I don't want to get into an argument with anyone here, so I'm just going to be quiet. But you would be that diplomatic person that could maybe bring it up and talk about it, and you know about current events, but like do it in a way that everyone gets along, or do it in a way that like no one's super mad. Of course, sometimes that's inevitable, but I feel like you guys would find a way to kind of build bridges and to get along, and like you're very convivial, you know, you're very much someone who is all about everyone vibing, all about everyone having fun. And I feel like there's something very attractive. Like there's what's the word? Efficiency or like capability about you. You know how like when you're a little kid and you see those moms and dads and they all just seem to have everything figured out. And you kind of have that sense of safety of like, okay, like, you know, especially when you go to the suburbs on a Saturday morning and it just seems so well run and everything just seems so clean and well pruned and everyone just seems so like someone's out like washing their car and someone's planting geraniums, you know, and it just everything just seems to go great. And like there's a little kid on the corner having like a bake sale or a lemonade sale and everything just seems to be in its place. I feel like that's kind of you, but again, in a very I think people are attracted to this. I know you might be like, what is attractive about like a parent? But you know, a lot of people, like, that is a phrase. I'm not going to say the phrase, but you know, a lot of people are attracted to that kind of dad mom vibe, I guess. Again, I am not going to say it, but I just feel that there's something that is kind of like, it makes people feel taken care of. It makes people feel looked after. It makes people feel like they can trust you. It makes people feel like they can kind of relax around you, and that at the end of the day, the wheels aren't going to fall off if they kind of like have a little bit too much to drink, or maybe that they're nervous in a social situation, that you'll take over, that you'll manage things, that you'll kind of sort everyone out and like get everyone going in a good conversational flow. So I feel like a lot of people really respect you, and I feel like that's something that a lot of people find very attractive, is like just the way you're kind of able to manage things. Like I feel like you're someone a lot of people can rely on. You're very smart, you're very intelligent, but not someone who would rub that in someone's face during a conversation or try to use super big words that no one else could understand. You'd be someone who I feel like would try to kind of like build bridges and like let someone understand you, even if they're from a different background, or even if you've never met them before, you would still try to find that commonality, find something you can agree on. And again, I feel like you're really fun. I'm seeing a cruise in my mind. I could see you guys being well-traveled, if not now, then in the future. I could see you guys having a lifestyle in the future where like you are constantly traveling from one place to another, or going on a lot of cruises for some reason. I keep seeing maybe like the water or something, I don't know. But I feel like you would be that person, like even in the retirement home, like living it up in the retirement home, you know, like partying with like your fellow, you know, 80-year-olds and just having a good old time, and like grandma and granddad always have the best time. So yeah, there's something very socially like skilled about you guys. And I feel like that's very mature, like, because it takes a lot of empathy. And I feel like people really respect that and see you as a great partner, see you as someone who would really add to their life and would really kind of make their life easier in that way. Let me get more cards, see if anything else wants to come out. We got the Four of Wands. Yes, that's definitely a party card energy. So like I said, I feel like you guys would be great at celebrations, weddings, like parties. That Page of Wands. So yeah, you guys are very full of life. Like we got Page of Wands coming out under the King of Wands. I feel like you guys are always seeking out new experiences. You know, the Wands cards to me are so excitable. That fire energy is always looking for something fun, new, fresh, cool. And I'm kind of getting that vibe a bit of you guys being like into all these different things and being very enthusiastic and not just being kind of a lot of people, you know, going through the world kind of just whatever, kind of meh, not excited about things. I feel like you're the opposite. You're that person that like if you had some delicious ice cream or something, you wouldn't just be like, oh, okay, like that was good. You'd be like, oh my God, it was the best ice cream ever. It was so delicious. It was so amazing. And so I feel like your enthusiasm rubs off on others. Like it's almost like if they invite you to a party, they know you're going to make it a good time. They know you're going to have a good time. They know you're going to maybe even start like everyone else playing like a drinking game or something. So yeah, there's something very excitable and energetic. I'm happy that we're ending on this because it's like a little burst of energy for me and I was getting kind of tired, but not until I tuned into your energy. Let's get some of these cards as well. Figure out what is attractive right now about pile 4. What is attractive about pile 4? The Mapmaker of Destiny, authentic purpose, inspiration, free will. And I think there's something really authentic about you guys. Oh my God, so much fire energy. The Phoenix, resurrection, surrender to change. But I feel like there's something super authentic about you. Like I feel like whereas a lot of people might seem fake or might seem kind of like they're hiding something, I feel like you seem like the kind of person who's really unafraid to be yourself, really unafraid to say exactly what you think, really honest and just kind of trustworthy. Like I feel like someone knows that like if you say you're going to be somewhere, you're going to show up. If you say that you like something or don't like something, you mean it. And so it's like there's a lot of kind of trust that people have. There's a lot of, like I said, that reliability of just someone feeling like they kind of know where you stand on things. You know, you're not a shady character that has a bunch of lies under their belt and is trying to like do something kind of in the secret, hidden shadows. You're someone who I feel like put it all out there. So yeah, I feel like that just is something that a lot of people find attractive. We got the Eagle King, the big picture, angelic help, and there might even be a kind of royal vibe around some of you guys that a lot of people find attractive because I am getting some strong Leo vibes. And we got the Sun. We also got the King of Wands, and I just feel like there's kind of royalty. Leo rules royalty. And then we got the Eagle King. So you know how like back in the day with kings and stuff, like they would hire a court jester and they wanted to just be entertained. Like they already had a lot of their life figured out. There was already a level of safety or whatever. And so it was like they wanted to throw parties. They wanted to have fun. They wanted to like travel and be carried around on like a little bed thing over at people's heads. You know what I'm talking about? So I feel like with you, there's kind of a royal vibe around you. There's a vibe of people really thinking that you carry yourself with this innate air of dignity and kind of importance, and also that you have that funness that comes about when like all your bills are paid. You know, when all your bills are paid, you can have a lot more relaxation vibe to you. You can go out and really enjoy a party. When you have some stress hanging over your head, it's a little bit harder. So I feel like people also associate you with financial success, and this adds to their attraction. You just seem like someone who has things figured out, who isn't a mess, who isn't in disarray, and also like you're not someone who's super like, it has to be my way. I think it's interesting that we got the Emperor reverse. So it's almost like you're that good aspect of royalty, of someone who's just like fun and, you know, kind of relaxed. Like again, they're the king, so they're not worrying about too much. They're not worrying about how they're going to pay for their, you know, water bill or something. They're the king, so they can relax on that aspect. And so I feel like you have a lot of extra time to spend doing the things you love. So if you don't have money now, I feel like you just give off the vibe of someone who will have money, maybe because you seem very, like I said, balanced, smart, committed to something, reliable. But I feel like sooner or later, just people perceive that you're going to have money, that you are a success. And a lot of people perceive you already as having it. Let's see what else is going to come through for pile 4. What makes pile 4 attractive? The Keeper of the Scales, fairness, balance. and the Lady of the Gift, generosity, receiving, withholding. So that makes a ton of sense, because as I was saying, I get somewhat of a diplomatic vibe with you. Like in conversation, you guys, even though you state your opinion, I feel like you would say it in a way where, like, if you knew someone was really disagreeing with you on a certain topic, you would find a way to make it diplomatic. I am getting kind of Libra vibes in that sense, but I feel like you're very unafraid to say what you want. So you might have kind of some Libra in your chart, some fire in your chart, but I do feel like you guys are very generous and you're very giving. You would make sure that you kind of take care of everyone around you. You're very in tune with other people's emotions. So like I said, if like someone got skipped over, maybe like someone was pouring wine and they poured glass. I don't know why I keep mentioning wine with you guys. Maybe some of you guys are winos or something, but if they poured it for everyone else and forgot someone, like you would notice and be like, oh, make sure you get him, you know? And I feel like, again, people find this very attractive. Like you seem like you would make such a great partner. You would take care of people and just really look after everyone in your life, especially your partner. Let me get some astro dice for pile 4, Spirit. Can you give me some astro dice about what makes pile 4 attractive? We got the moon, Taurus, and we got the 10th house. That's totally the vibe I'm picking up on with that moon and Taurus. You know, those are 2 cards that definitely like the finer things in life, especially Taurus, ruler of the 2nd house, ruled by Venus. So I feel like, again, I'm getting a vibe with you that you like, either you dress very upscale and people assume you have money, I would think you would dress upscale, whether it's actually like maybe you put together the outfit and it wasn't that expensive, but people just assume it's expensive with how you carry yourself. And I feel like you might post things on social media like good food, or you're always out at restaurants, or you're always at parties. I feel like people just assume you have this upscale kind of Taurian 2nd house lifestyle. And then again, with the moon, I feel like you're such a caretaker. You honestly give off mom, dad vibes. Like really, that is coming through so strong. Like I don't know if you just take care of everyone in your friend group. You're always the person looking after everyone else. You're always the person checking in on people. But I feel like when they start getting a crush on you, or when they like meet you, they just think, wow, this person would, like, if I was dating them, they would take such good care of me. Like I know that they would just always be looking out for me, always checking up on me. And I feel like that's something a lot of people, you know, find very sexy. Like the idea of someone who just really cares about them in a world where so many people are kind of self-centered or just focused on themselves. The fact that you're very empathetic, that you are very much someone who is warm and friendly and loving towards those around you, really adds to the desire someone would feel for you. And then we also got the 10th house, which relates to Capricorn and Saturn. So I do feel like you might have some kind of a strong reputation. 10th house can be the house of how others perceive it. It can also be a career house. So for some of you guys, you might have a really good career. And again, people see this potential in you to be very successful. Or it could also just be that a lot of people know you. And so a lot of people have you on their mind, on their thoughts. And so again, getting with you is seen as kind of like a flex, because so many people around town are like aware of you, think of you as being kind of cool, think of you as being kind of having this exciting lifestyle. So yeah, let's get some of these cards from the Bowl Life deck by Vanessa Sumainina, and let's see what other energy we can pick up on. Healthy boundaries. Okay. What makes pile 4 attractive? Hope on the horizon. Perfect moments. I don't know. I really do feel like some of you guys just have a popping off social media in some way. Like, I feel like your Instagram, it looks kind of perfect. It looks like, okay, this is too many that flew out. It looks like you guys are just living your best life. It looks like you guys are just having a blast, whatever you're doing. And I feel like you, in a way, inspire other people to kind of go out and maybe travel more or to do things more. I feel like there's something about you that you're not the kind of person, like I said, who would just taste ice cream and be like, oh, it was good. You'd be like, it was amazing. The flavor profile was this. I could taste notes of that. So it's like you really care. You know, I feel like you care about things, and you are a little bit of a perfectionist. You want to make sure everything is done right. You want to make sure everything is really beautiful. You're not interested in doing things halfway. So again, I know that might not sound like attractive in just the sense of surface attractiveness, but I'm talking about your energy. Like, I feel like so many people can trust you, rely on you. And once they get a crush on you, it just grows and grows and grows. And the more they think, wow, this person would really make a great partner. This person would make a great spouse. They would make a great long-term girlfriend or boyfriend. You're not like a mess like so many other people are, you know. You really just manage your life really well, and I feel like so many people just notice that about you. And we got fighting spirit, so I feel like even though you are very diplomatic, there is that side to you that like will state your opinion, and you will say what you think in a diplomatic way, managing it to others, not necessarily like stuffing it down someone's throat, but you are that person that is very confident in yourself and very clear on what you think, on what you believe. And so you're not going to like change it for someone else or just desperately try to fit in. You are someone who really makes your own kind of identity. You know what I mean? You're someone who is fine standing in your own truth. Let's also get some cards from this deck. Spirit, can you tell us what makes pile 4 attractive? In the hand, the universe is your partner. So you guys might have very attractive hands right now. I have the needle, intentionality. Yes, I feel like you guys are super intentional with how you do everything in this life. I feel like you're someone who is always just careful. Like, you wouldn't just rush something through and be like, okay, it's halfway done. Well, whatever, just throw it in there. You would be someone who's like, okay, it wasn't done right. Okay, let's redo it. Let's do it one more time then. No, it needs to be right. Like, and there's this perfectionism about you that I think, again, people really respect. Like, I keep seeing images of the suburbs, and I feel like they're bringing that up just to say a lot of people would like a long-term relationship with you, not just a fling, although I think they would think you would be good in bed. I'm not going to get too into that because it is YouTube, but I have some readings like that over on my Patreon if you're curious about the vibes you're giving off in that sense. But I do feel that you guys are like sexually attractive, and people think you'd be great at that even for the short term, but they would want something long term, because it's almost like because you are that way and then you combine it with you being so protective and looking out for everyone, it just is like, oh my God, this person has it all. You know, this person would make a great spouse. This person is just someone who like literally has everything on the table that I could possibly want. So I feel like a life with you would never be boring. It would always be exciting. It would always be something new, something fresh, new beginnings. And I honestly think a lot of people probably have crushes on you and just think of you as like, wow, that person would make a great partner. They're so much fun to go out with. They're so much fun to hang around. There's so much excitement around them. They're always doing something. Like, they're hard to keep up with. They might have a packed schedule, but they're always warm and loving. And I feel like a lot of people genuinely like you as well, Pile 4. Think of you not just as a great partner and not just are attracted to you, although they are, but think of you as like a great friend and just someone who's really just, yeah, like a blast to be around, you know, like someone you would definitely want at your party or at your function, at your event, at your dinner table, who just makes everything a good time. So I think that is what I have for you, Pile 4. I really hope it resonated. Let me know if it did in the comments. I love hearing from you guys. So let me know your thoughts, and make sure to hit the thumbs up button, hit the like button, make sure you're subscribed as well, and have notifications. Have notifications on so you can find out as soon as I post. I would love to have you guys here. And also, if you guys want to check out more of my readings, like I mentioned, I do have my Patreon, and that link for that is in my description and underneath the timestamps in the comments. I think I'm going to post it there. I don't know if I'll remember, but I will try to. And make sure that if you guys want a private reading, you can also get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com, and you can get a half-hour or full hour session with me one-on-one pulling tarot for you or your questions specifically. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sending you guys lots of love and light, and I'll be back very soon for another reading. So take care, guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye.